Right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Gibsons today. Did you know that Gibson is better than Gibson? Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing the best that you can be doing and more. Okay, for years, I would hear people talking about 50s versus 60s models of guitars. And what does that even mean? I'll just be super generic and non-brand specific. So throughout the 50s, the 1950s, not the 1850s, guitars had a certain set of features and specs, right? And then on New Year's Eve, 1959, all the guitar people got together for their annual guitar New Year's Eve party, and they said, okay, tomorrow is 1960s. Let's change some things. Let's do it. That's what they said. They actually wrote that down. And then through the 1960s, guitars had other certain features and specs. Is that true? No. Clue. No, it's not. Just made it up. It's a fun story. Good story. Stories are fun if you make it sound believable. All right, so I've got two Gibson Les Paul standard guitars, a standard 50s in Heritage Cherry Sunburst, and a standard 60s in Figured Top Blueberry Burst. So let's see what makes them unique. Obviously, one wasn't made in the 50s, one wasn't made in the 60s. They're current day. They were made recently. I bought the 50s model at Long and McQuaid, and they had a big sale on was it this year? I don't remember when it was. And Sweetwater sent me the 60s for a previous deep dive video, and I'll link that video in the description. And I'm going to be using it for another video as well. So in exchange for keeping that guitar, I'm making a few videos with the guitar. So that's the deal with that one. And if you're new here, don't forget to And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be comparing these guitars to a Gibson Les Paul Special in the future, and other stuff, more things. So, and that's good. Turn on notification bell if that's still a thing. I haven't checked. I don't know. I don't use it. Okay, let's start the fun with the blind tone challenge. See if you can't guess which guitar is the 50s and which is the 60s. We'll call them X and Y, and you won't see them. You'll just hear some clean tones and some dirty tones in each position. So like neck, middle, and then bridge. Neck and bridge. So enough. You get it. Let's go. Those guitars play great. Did you get it right? Who cares? It doesn't matter. If you got it wrong, rewind the video, play again. This is just for fun. Tone challenges don't mean anything. Okay, too much coffee. Okay, let's talk specific specs. That's almost a tongue twister. What makes them unique? We'll go top to bottom. I'll try not to miss anything important. And usually I try to miss important things, but people are good in the comments to let me know that I missed something. And when I miss something, they get angry. So it's very important. Sometimes they pretend to be angry at me in the comments. I know they're just kidding. The world is funny because you wouldn't really be angry at stuff like this. It's just guitar specs. Rant over. Yeah, so let's get the specs up here. Okay, I did mention Sweetwater sent me the 60s model, right? So I'm going to use their guitar gallery to show the two guitars specs side by side. You can actually do that. You can load up a couple, but you can load up a bunch of guitars, compare the specs. So this is like a segment for Sweetwater. Their guitar galleries, they're online actual photos of the guitar you're buying, as long as it's over a certain price point. I believe it was $299. Could be higher. I think it was $199 at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you get to see the guitars from multiple angles, and you get to see the weight. So it's the most useful resource you could ask for when you're buying guitars online. They've nailed it, and I actually saw it. I saw it in person when I was there, and it's a real thing. Why wouldn't it be? Okay, we'll start at the top. We'll go side by side. Look at the specs. Spec sheet. See, I knew what I was saying. I got them loaded up here. Let's increase the comparison chart. And sometimes I notice typos in the description, so that's good. It's a real person typing something. So got the 50 on the left, 60 on the right. What is the biggest difference, right? They're both right-handed in this case. They do lefties. Solid body, body shape. It's a Les Paul. The body shape's the same. Mahogany body. The top on the blue, in this case, it's a AA figured maple. That's not really a spec thing. That's just like one. It looks nicer. Body finish. They're both gloss nitro lacquer. They forgot to put the word gloss, or it doesn't matter. Different color top or different color body. Mahogany neck. Okay, this is probably the biggest difference. This is what's going to make somebody want this one versus this one. 50s has a vintage 50s neck. It's thick. It's thicker. And the 60 has a slim taper, which is just words that don't really mean anything to me. It's slimmer. We're not talking about the width. There's a little bit about the width. Like you can see the nut width, tiny bit. But we're talking about like how it feels in your hand when you're grasping it. Okay, fingerboard. It's rosewood for both. I don't think that is a typo. It's just like, it's the same. Acrylic trapezoids. Acrylic trapezoid. 22 medium jumbo frets. Same scale length. Nut width is slightly wider on the 50. So does that make a huge difference? Maybe. Depends how big your hands are. Tuners. This is the other big difference. There's like 3 major differences. So the tuner is Vintage Deluxe on the 50 and Grover Rotomatic on the 60. Personal preference for me, I don't like the look of the Vintage Deluxe. The white ones, they look like, where is it? They look like teeth, somebody's yellow teeth. And the other ones, I like the Grover Rotomatic. They look cooler. Okay, so that's the second major difference. Pickups. You got Burstbucker humbucker in the 50, and you got Gibson 60s Burstbucker humbucker in the 60 model. Did that make a difference? You will know when you heard it, if it does make a big difference. Okay, they're saying there's no case. That's wrong. They both come with the same hard shell case. Oh, it's a brand. TKL? TWK? TWO? TVO? TV Ontario? TMZ? I forget the name. I think it's TKL. Same size strings. So there you have it. There you go. That's the specs. And they both come in varieties of finishes and tops and stuff. You can get AAA, AA. Sounds like meat. Sounds like steak. So, okay. Again, I want to mention the Blueberry Burst is a demo model. I did mention that in the original video, and it apparently came with the wrong switch tip. It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be amber, like on the 50s model, but that's okay. When you get a demo model, there's a big discount usually. And I like the white switch tip anyways because it helps me Identify which guitar is the Blueberry Burst and which is the Heritage Charity, and which helps me identify which is the Blueberry and which is the Cherry. Otherwise, it's anyone's guess. How would I know the difference between the two guitars? Okay, I'm an idiot. All right, and now you know all about them. Which one do I prefer? I like the 60s standard more. I prefer the Blueberry Burst, and I like the slimmer neck, and I like the tuners. I think I said that already, so you probably knew I was going to say that. Playability, both amazing. I don't know if it's the plec or the setup for both. Amazing. Both sound great. Both have the same weight. They're a little bit heavy. And that's what I think about them. I prefer how the 60s feels in my hands. Let me know which one you like more. And if you got the blind tone challenge right, let me know. Also, leave a comment. Did you hear much of a difference? Let me know. Where was the biggest difference? If there was a difference. I haven't listened back yet. Again, links to all the guitars and Sweetwater if you want to get anything. They supported me for this video, and you can support them and this channel by using the links. And that's the best way to do it, and it's always appreciated. And that's gonna do it. That's it. As always, play guitar and have fun, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.